People think that enjoyment is happiness. You drank a good beverage, you had a good piece of meat, you went out to a party, you enjoyed yourself, you think you were happy, you think that's happiness, but that's the mistake that people make. Happiness and enjoyment are two different things. And that's why people, in Hebrew they call it mitpashrim. They don't look for the real thing. The second confusion that's very common with people is that people think that relaxation or that success is happiness. And all of these three things are not happiness, and I'll explain to you why, very simply. When a person has an enjoyment, let's say for instance this person took a certain, whatever it is, ate a certain meal, took a certain drug, whatever it is, he's in his happiest state in the world, that's not happiness because one day later, it's going to be taken away. Same thing with success and relaxation. Happiness, according to the Torah, is a state of mind. To be happy means that you're in the proper state of mind. The frequency, התדר הנכון, זה שמחה. על פי התורה הקדושה, אדם שהוא שמח, זה אדם שהוא חי בתדר הנכון. And that's what we want to speak about. Meaning, in other words, every single person in this room with 2-3 seconds of we'll call it meditation, can change his outlook, can see everything differently. The whole idea, according to the Torah, one of the most important things is the understanding that there is a concept called Ayin Tova. Ayin Tova means that you see things in the proper light. That pertains to yourself, how you see yourself, how you appreciate yourself. That pertains to those around you, your wife, your children, your family, other Jews in the world. And that pertains to the way God treats you. How do you see what God does with you? And this is a very important service that we have today. I want to ask you guys a question. אני אשלב קצת עברית באנגלית שזה יהיה קל לציבור. רבי שמעון בר יוחאי, ידוע, היה במערה 12 שנה. למד, כתב את הזוהר הקדוש עם אליהו הנביא. ואחרי התקופה הזאת יצא החוצה, שרף את הכל. He came out of the cave, started burning everything. Him and his son Rabbi Elazar. And the reason for that is because we have to understand, when you reach such a level where you're disconnected from the world because you're learning Torah with Eliyahu Hanavi and you're learning the holiest of stuff, the Zohar Kadosh, you cannot expect to come back to the mundane world and start to interact with reality. So he started burning everything, like Cyclops in the X-Men. Everything that he saw would burn up from his vision. HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells him, go back to the cave for 1 more year. Now I want to ask you guys a question. The crowd seems like a smart crowd. Let me ask you guys a question. If the reason that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was burning the world was because he was 12 years disconnected from the mundane, 12 years disconnected from reality, to put him 1 more year in the cave is going to do the exact opposite. It's going to cause the difference to be much greater. So why is God sending him 1 more year? The answer to this, very interesting. We see that God told him that 1 year, work on something else. Work on your mishkafayim. Work on your vision. Work on the way you see others. Work on the way you see yourself. Work on the way you understand the universe. That every single person has a tikkun. Every single person has the ramat of da'at that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave him, understanding. And God only judges a person based on his understandings. Now, with this point being said, I want to follow up with a famous point that's brought down. Rabbeinu Tam. Rabbeinu Tam is one of the Rishonim. He's the grandson of Rashi, and he writes. It's actually they wrote about him that when he would learn Torah and he would get stuck, he would take nuggets of gold, put it in front of him, and look at them. All of a sudden, his mind will open up. And the question arises: this huge Sadiq, Rashi's grandson, is sitting and looking at gold, and through that he's able to learn Torah. What's the common sense behind that? So I want to read to you guys this deep point that writes Rabbi Tzadok HaKohen. הנשמה בעצמיותה היא מלאה שמחה וששון. Says Rabbi Tzadok, הנשמה, which is who we really are, like Rabbi Zamir was speaking about earlier, your neshama is full of happiness. While I was sitting and preparing this class, I realized a nice chidush that simcha and neshama are the same letters, but there's one letter difference between the word simcha and neshama, which is simcha has a chet and neshama has a nun. Gematria of a nun is 50. Gematria of chet is 8. 50 minus 8 is 42. We know the Jewish nation, when they were in the desert, they had 42 tachanot, 42 masaot. And Sfarim HaKadoshim explain that every single Jew in this world has 42 תחנות. כל החיים שלנו זה תחנות. עברת תחנה, פתאום אתה מוצא את עצמך בתחנה אחרת, ועוד תחנה. כל הזמן שינויים. כל מצב יש לו את התיקון שלו. Every single stop you're in has a change. But if you take the simcha, and you take the 42 מסעות של כל אדם ואדם, the 42 journeys that each individual has, you put them together, you reach the word neshama. Your neshama comes out of you. And I can tell you guys, again, from personal experience, and I'm sure every single person that's here tonight knows this, is that when you're connected to your neshama, you fully feel happy. The reason for that is that in us, as human beings, we have 3 layers. We have our physical body, which in our generation, everything is surface. Everything is about the physical. Everything is about the materialistic. That's our generation. We don't even know that we have the capability to go into our motherboard, into our minds, and start going and redoing the system, becoming happier people, becoming more successful people when it comes to our relationships. We have to be reminded that this is a natural gift and talent that God gave us. The Torah said, how many times when you open up different ma'amarei Chazal, for instance, Rabbi Nachman in Breslov writes, mitzvah gedola liyot b'simcha. And all the Mefarshim open up the books, 613 mitzvot. Anyone know which one of the 613 mitzvot is simcha? The answer is that there is no book that writes that simcha is one of the 613 mitzvot. So what is Rabbi Nachman Breslov saying? Mitzvah gedola liyot b'simcha. The commentators explain that simcha is such a simple thing. Like we said, it's a state of mind. God expects it of every single one of us. Rabbi Aharon Mikarlin writes that a person that is atzuv, a person that is sad in his life, kfui tova. You know what it means to be kfui tova? It means to be a person that has a lack of gratitude. Because God gives a person so much. Every single person knows that chas v'shalom, when something goes wrong in the body, whether it's with you, whether it's with your wife, chas v'shalom, whether it's your children, your spouse, someone that you know, you would do anything to receive that back, to receive that health back. And we all have so many gifts from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We have so many gifts from God. And God says, you can't just be happy. The Gemara says that when you're a guest in somebody's house, there's 2 types of guests. Yesh oreach tov ve'oreach ra. Oreach tov, a good guest, מה הוא אומר? אומרת הגמרא, כמה טרחו how much they worked so hard that I can enjoy this meal. That's what Oreach Tov says, a good guest. But what does the bad guest say? Whatever they did it for themselves. Okay, so they added an extra piece of chicken for me. They added an extra piece of meat for me. It's not a big deal. That's the bad guest. But the good guest learns how to appreciate everything and says everything was made just for me. It says the Gemara, Masechet Sanhedrin Daf Lamed Zayin, Chayav Adam Lomar B'Shvili Nivra Ha'olam. A person has to believe that this world was created for me. And someone says, wait a second, isn't that egoistic? זה לא נשמע טוב להגיד שהעולם נברא בשבילי. But the actual understanding of that is that God says, מעשיר ומשמח בעולם הזה אורח. You have to feel like you're an אורח in this world. You're a guest in this world, but you have to be which guest? אורח טוב. The good guest. That says, if I have a functioning body, God created for me. If there's hot water in the shower, I'm just telling you guys this because when I took a shower earlier, there was cold water. I said how nice it would be to take a hot shower. Even the simplest things you can appreciate. And that's what God wants of us. The basic level of simcha is understanding to appreciate. I want to share with you guys that back when I was into coaching, so everyone here I'm sure is familiar with the famous worldwide coach, Anthony Robbins. Anthony Robbins is a great speaker, a great public speaker. Now, I used to watch a lot of his stuff, inspiration, before I was religious. And then Abdul Mizrahi was speaking a little bit earlier about Rabbi Avigdor Miller. So I remember in one day when I started my journey, I happened to have listened to two videos. One of them from Mr. Anthony Robbins, and one of them from the Hafid al-Sir of the Lord, Rabbi Avigdor Miller. And I want to share with you guys this point, that Anthony Robbins sits with his big smile and his spray tan, and he's giving you the smile, I'm going to make you the happiest person. And you go to his lectures and you see everyone super excited. Speak to these guys a month later. It's just nice. It's a good speaker. I'm not saying he doesn't do good things, but I can tell you guys one thing. When he was very old. It's very hard to listen to what he says. I listened to his Akratot. He was about 70 years old. And Rabbi Avigdor Miller, he would speak about how the lubrication of his joints works. He would speak about how when he walks, he enjoys his body, he enjoys, and you hear the rabbi is full of happiness, appreciation, and excitement of the fact that his joints are working properly. To understand that a human being can reach such a level that he can appreciate that you can sit in your Shabbat table and sit with your children and sit with your family and appreciate just looking at your wife, appreciate just looking at your kids, putting your phone aside, putting all the mumbo jumbo away, and just focusing on the good that God gives you. Such a simple thing. So why is it so hard? We live in a generation, you guys all know, back in when I was in university, one of the classes that I took was marketing. I'm a business management and finance major. And if you guys go to a marketing class, you see how much time and money people invest in order to get you to become addicted to their technology, to addicted to the phone, addicted to the TV, addicted to Netflix, to Hulu, all the different stuff there's out there. They want you to become a slave to them. And they invest everything. And then a father comes home after not seeing his son all day, and he says, why can't my son sit and enjoy his time with me? Why? Because he's sitting on the iPad, he's sitting on his phone, and you're mad at him that he can't come and give you a kiss and say, Abba, ma shlomcha? You made the mistake. You think you can compete with Disney? Disney spent millions of dollars that your son will be addicted to the screen. Not just your son, you as well. And when you're living in this generation, when everything is about now, everything is about my personal instant gratification, you expect to reach true happiness. America failed. Hands down. Everyone came to America, the land of the free. On the dollar they put in God we trust. I grew up as an American, living the American dream. I can tell you guys that, look statistics. Happiness, look at the psychiatric rate. How much people in America are taking pills just to get their moods neutralized? To overcome charadot, to overcome fears, to overcome different things. Because we're in a place where they're lying to us 24/7. We're living in a world where constantly they're telling us that happiness belongs over here. You see this model, you see this celebrity, you see that yacht, you see that big mansion. That's where happiness lies. But the statistics show otherwise. We don't need statistics. We have the Torah. The Torah tells us that happiness is something internal. Happiness is something that comes from the neshama. If the neshama is not happy, a person can never become happy. And that's what we were starting to say, that a person has a guf, which is his physical body, and everyone in life is chasing the physical pleasures. There's a nefesh. So, like I said, the coaches in the world, they speak about nefesh. They speak about a person's interests and a person's emotional level of life, and that's the deepest they've reached, the nefesh. In the Western world, the person that knows about nefesh psychology, he's considered to be a guru. The Torah says there's a deeper level than the nefesh, which is the neshama. If the neshama has its mazon, if the neshama has what belongs to it, what it deserves, then everything else functions properly. I know there's a lot of banaim in this world, people in this room that do construction. Everybody knows that when you want to build a building right, you have to have a strong foundation. The foundation of Judaism is emunah and bitachon, which bring to simcha. We live our life and we constantly pick how to look at things. If we put on our emunah glasses and we understand that the Aleph Bet is emunah and bitachon, the beginning is understanding. Says the Chovat Levavot, Shalvat Nefesh Aboteach, that if a person has Shalvat Nefesh, you see a person, he has peace of mind, he's tranquil, he's truly happy. That's a sign that he has a real bitachon. I'm sure everybody here is familiar with the difference between emunah and bitachon. Emunah means that I believe that God exists, and I'm sure that every single person in this room is ma'amin. Bitachon, I'm not sure that every single person in this room has bitachon, and the reason for that is bitachon is different. There's different files, let's call it, of bitachon. You could have great bitachon when it comes to your parnasah, but what about when it comes to your shlom bayit? What about when it comes to other aspects of your life, your health? If the second you realize, you have worries in your heart, just know for a fact that you're lacking bitachon in that specific field. And that's one of the messages that Torah tells us. That the first level of simcha is understanding that we have so much what to appreciate. I want to just share with you guys, we're all familiar, there are two psukim. One pasuk that Shlomo HaMelech says is Matzah Isha, Matzah Tov. המשך, שכל החבר'ה בשיעורים אומרים לי, זה לא כתוב בשום פסוק, לא מצא, זה לא כתוב, זה המציאו את זה. מצא אישה, מצא טוב, והאפק רצון מהשם. זה אומר שאם אתה מצאת אישה טובה, אתה תזכה לעשות נחת רוח לקדוש ברוך הוא, בגלל שרק איתה אתה תוכל לבנות בית כמו שצריך. מצא אישה, מצא טוב. אבל מצד שני, that's one פסוק. Second פסוק says, מוצא אני מר ממוות את האישה. Now I'm sure all of you guys heard these two psukim. One pasuk speaks about the positive, one pasuk speaks about the negative. The Golden Vilna asks a very interesting question. He says, why is it when we're speaking about the Tov, it's in the past tense? Matzah isha, matzah tov. In the past, matzah, ba'avar. מה, אתה עדיין לא נשוי? אתה נשוי. אז למה כתוב מצא? But when it speaks about מוצא אני מר ממוות את האישה, מוצא is in the present tense. Ask the Gaon Vilna, and if you guys listen to this, it's a very powerful point that everyone can take from it. Why is it, says the Gaon Vilna, that when the Torah speaks about the good, it's in past tense? Matzah isha, matzah tov. But when it comes to the bad, motzeh, it's in present tense. Ani mar mamavit האישה. Says the Gaon Vilna, the natural tendency, המצב הטבעי של הבן אדם, זה להרגיש לדברים הטובים שיש לו, to feel with the bad things that the good things that happen to the person. Matzah. Everybody remembers their wedding day, or the day that Hashem answered them for the thing that they've been praying and waiting for so long, the day of the Yeshua. He was waiting so long for that day. He's extremely happy and excited. A week later, he forgets about it. He forgets about the good. But says the Golden Vilna, when it comes to the bad, האדם מוצא, כל הזמן מחדש, מוצא, what does he מוצא? He's constantly finding himself finding the bad. Meaning the natural tendency of man is regarding the good, even though it's something that's consistent. You're still married to the same wife that you were so happy on the wedding night. You're still married to that same husband. But you look at it as something in the past. You tend to forget that it's a gift that God is giving you every second. In actuality, every good thing that God gives us, it wasn't in the past. It's every single second. Every single second God decides. They sit and they take the gzerot that HaKadosh Baruch Hu brings down to the world and they actualize them. Every single second God decides if you're going to be in pain or if you're going to... Everything from A to Z, every single aspect of a person's life is decided in the Shamayim, and then it just trickles down into this world. Like the Mekubalim teach us, that there is a concept of a spiral, where everything comes down and it reaches our sphere. The Olam HaMalchut, like Rabbi Zimmer was saying yesterday. And that means that in actuality, when we live in this world, disconnected from our neshama, it means that we're not even understanding why things are happening to us. We're living life suffering for no reason. Because your neshama is not saturated. If the neshama אין לה את המזון שלה, זה לא משנה מה שלא תעשה, לא תהיה שמח. ואני אומר לכם את זה בתור אדם שתקלט במסיבות של 2,000 אנשים, והרבה שנים מתעסק בהרבה נושאים, ואני יכול להגיד לכם שכל הדרשות האלו וכל התחושות, זה ריקנות בסוף היום. בגלל שזה לא מלא אותך פנימי. זה לא נותן לך משהו, אם זה כסף ואם זה כל הנאה אחרת. The only thing that can truly fill us up is when we give our neshama the mazon.